Hey everybody, it's Justin, your guide to the other side. I just wanted to touch briefly on Bitcoin, mainly because it's kind of like the overarching thing that determines whether markets are risk on or risk off. And I just kind of wanted to make this fun little chart that can, help us help us identify particular market structure and where we are in terms of like a bull or bear market. So none of this is financial advice, of course. We're just kind of going through and defining peak to peak what a bear market and bull market looks like and how long each of these in the past has taken us, right? So if we actually look at this first bear and bull market cycle for Bitcoin, we can kind of see that initially we have a sell-off period where we drop like 84%. And, this first drop down took 406 days. And then we're followed up with a consolidation, whereby I define this consolidation market as the bottom to the midpoint, where the midpoint is defined as 50%, about a 50% drawdown. We can kind of see this as a resistance point as it relates to like price action. So we can kind of see, hey, there's this resistance point at this 50% mark. That kind of seems important. So I like to define the consolidation market as that tension between the bottom and that midpoint. And then I define the bull market after that as the point where the market breaks through that halfway point and tests its all-time high. So the first consolidation took about 490 days, and we moved on to the bull market. So the bull market is when we break through this point and and the market pushes for its all-time high. So I can see that this bull market cycle took about 217 days to reach its all-time high. And once it follows through, I consider that mania. So mania so this mania cycle took about 350 days, where it went from its all-time high, it broke its previous all-time high, and the price was able to discover a new all-time high. So overall, the first half of the cycle is a bear market, and it's characterized by its sell-off, its initial sell-off, its consolidation. It hands it off to the bull market when the bull market breaks through its 50, its halfway point, and mania starts when we break through its all-time high. And overall, each of these cycles consist of a full peak-to-peak cycle on the chart. And this first cycle took about 1477 days. Okay, so if we hand that off to the second bear market, we can kind of see following after the discovery of a new all-time high, we retrace about 83% from its all-time high in about 364 days. So comparatively speaking, if we define these statistically, we can see that 83% is about the drawdown in about 364 days, which is 42 days shorter than the first bear market cycle. All right, so if we move on to the consolidation market, the second consolidation market, we can see that this isn't necessarily structurally similar to that of the prior cycle, prior consolidation market, mainly because the first consolidation market stayed under that 50% resistance point, right? Whereas the second portion, had a mini bull market inside of it. So I know a lot of you might disagree with me about this, but everybody has TA differently, and I would say this did not follow through to its all-time high. So it kind of, went in and out of this range. So I just consider that consolidation. I kind of consider that portion where the market, really, turns up when it actually falls through to its all-time high. And that's the last time we actually see this price. So I would consider this consolidation market from a data perspective, like 504 days. And that's about 24 days longer than the prior consolidation market. So we can kind of see that the consolidation for the crypto markets take about 490 to 500 days. And then if we pass that on to the next bull market, where the price follows through the halfway point and retries its all-time high, we can see that this time frame took about 217 days, so identical to the prior bull market cycle in this particular section here in the first cycle. So these two took about the same time. So if we move on to the mania portion of the market, this is when the all-time high is broken and we see a new all-time high. So this portion of the mania took about 336 days, which is about 14 days shorter than the previous mania cycle of 350 days. So we can kind of see that mania takes about takes about a year, essentially. And comparatively, if we add up all of these portions, so if we add up the the sell-off, the consolidation, the bull market, the mania, this amounts to about 1,428 days. So that's pretty similar to the prior cycle, the first cycle. So if we actually zoom out all the way, we can see that the second cycle took around the same amount of time as the first cycle. And for simplicity's sake, I'm going to ignore this portion. Even though, I mean, if you did track this run-up, if you did track this run-up right here, I mean, that is like 315 days. So pretty similar in mania, in terms of mania, right? Yeah, if you do this here, that's about 350 days. 300 to 350 days. So mania seems like it can last about a year structurally. So if we look where we are now, I mean, the third bear market sell-off is from top to bottom. We can kind of see, hey, it's taken about a year, right? It's exactly the same as the second bear market sell-off, and I mean, the first bear market sell-off was 406 days. So we can kind of see around a year to a year and 40 days. So I mean, 400 days. And we can see that there's a change in the amount of bleeding that has occurred, because it's only 76% from all-time high. So from top to bottom, it's less intense than it was during the first and the second cycles. So that's a market change, less volatility that we can see. So again, if we take a look at where we are in this particular cycle. If we were to define it if we define where it is now in relation to its prior cycles, this would be in a consolidation phase. And with what it's doing right now, I'd say that's probably true, considering how it's like stepping up towards the halfway point, which is around $30,000. It's around $32,000 because the prior high was about 67. So 33K. That's just kind of where the resistance is. We kind of see that price action reflect that. See rejected here. Whether we go up or down, I have no idea. I only know that structurally, if we were to follow the prior definitions here, 500 days for consolidation, then I put this here at 500. If we actually take a look at here, 532, I would say it's like we're day 259 out of 500. So, 532, let me just adjust that. So I put a question mark because I don't know. We have no idea. We're not like magicians or wizards or anything like that. We can only kind of look at the prior market cycles and just kind of extrapolate whether that's may or may not be the case. It'll be interesting if it does follow it, but again, it's not financial advice, so I don't advise. I would not trade off of this. So again, keep in mind consolidation markets are weird because I mean the second consolidation market here, it went over it. It kind of went under it. Did anything it wanted. In the first consolidation market, it just kind of stayed under it. So whatever it does, I'm not sure. But again, I would say, based off of the two prior cycles, we're about halfway through this consolidation market. Whether the bull market happens within this range or the mania happens within this range, I have no idea. I don't know, but I would say in terms of like cycle, we're like half. I mean, is that halfway through? What is that? It's about 623 days. I mean, what is that? About out of 400, out of that speculative 1,450. So there's still a lot of time. from this particular model or statistics that there's still time for that, I guess, accumulation before we test for this all-time high. We haven't even broken through this halfway point, so no idea. But I mean, you can only say for sure the market is risk on after its all-time high. So until we see this, until we see 30K broken, I can't say anything for sure. But I mean, on my end, I think I may or may not be accumulating. We'll see. But hey, I hope you've enjoyed this Bitcoin bear market and bull market structure analysis. I hope you found it useful. So hey, feel free to like and subscribe to the video. I always appreciate that. And you can always find me in the Otherside Discord and Otherside Wiki Discord too. But how Bitcoin pertains to like Ethereum and ApeCoin, I'll have to follow up in the next video. But it's getting kind of late, so I got to sign off for now. But hey, thanks. See you around.